What up, Audrey?
That ghost spy was so sweet, man. I missed that with the account for real, man. If I was in front of my computer, I would like get into a foul lot with the account and close all
That
those
was,
right.
yeah,
That
that
shit was obvious. I got like a small like a 0.1 to see where it went
yeah,
through.
I saw
Like
that.
yeah, but yeah. And also, yeah, I mean, that's also a good thing not to get into trade during the news. So, I mean,
Yeah,
that's a good habit to to build.
yeah, because it's like you just want to wait after it's
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, yeah. And I think gold will spike back up because it created a
Yeah,
fair value gap. So
yeah, this thing.
just waiting it to drop a little bit more.
At
So
least the EA give us money. Oh, AU came. Oh, you made a yeah. The EA has been giving
damn,
some
AU,
money.
I missed that AU said, man. I was in. That's why I hate trading those pairs. They're too slow.
AU is slow. AU is a bit slow sometimes, but once it starts going, it goes, man. Let me start this live session. Uh, make sure I'm sharing the right chart. US 30 is dropping. It's dropping. Man, such an amazing day. Share this, share um and then okay, I'll just start recording. All right, good morning guys. Today is Wednesday, May the 10th, and as usual, we'll be going over analysis for US 30, gold and EU. So today was right, this is what I said, you guys don't need to subscribe to make money with me like any of the instruments, but I did send my charts out to the people who have access to my charts, and they had exactly what I have right now on the chart, right? So this was before CPI, and I don't know if Levy has joined yet, but Levy said in the group that he made 1% just off of a sell. So this was this was before CPI. So you could have seen price was around the weekly, and this is what we traded, or I traded yesterday before the market opened. So keep in mind, some of the trades will come during the live session. Other trades won't come during the live session. They'll come before or after. But if you have access to like what I have right now, so the charts, I sent them this morning to the people who have access at about, what was that, 8:30 in the morning. So no, not 8:30, 8 in the morning. So 30 minutes before CPI. So this right here, you could have seen US 30 was around the weekly bullish low, which rarely comes up. Previous daily low was right here down. Monday low was right here. You have prices in a demand zone. So at that point, you can enter even into a small filler buy. And at that point, you see the CPI candle bust past this, right? And then after CPI, so even today, as much as CPI does not follow always my rules of trading news, so I noticed today, so what do we look for based on my strategy of trading news? Wait for the first 5 minute news candle to close, and then if it's a bullish candle like today, what you expect is a slight retracement to trap people who are trying to catch the reversal, and then continuation to the upside. So last time for CPI, remember this, that's how we got burnt last time for when we were trading the CPI. I remember this was CPI because it did the opposite. So for the month of April, CPI actually it did reverse a little bit. Actually, it kept reversing to the downside. So, but today it played out this pattern. So if I keep playing this out, you can see the pattern exactly. You had this retracement right here, and then you had continuation to the upside. Now at this point, this is where you want to, the purpose of having access to my markups is to see where price is likely to go, right? So it's to give you an additional confluence. So if price was going all the way up, this way, let me go ahead and put it up. So if price was around this zone, what do you ask yourself, or what do you see? Yesterday I mentioned, interpret this red zones and green zones. So red zones to tell you we have sellers around this area, not to tell you to buy or sell, not a signal. It just tells you look for confluences that can allow you to sell. Okay, we have 15-minute bearish zones here. We have Friday high here. We have a supply zone within a supply zone. So in these areas of where sellers are, the lighter shaded areas of red, we have a darker shade of red here. So this is where sellers are concentrated. We also have Monday's high here and the weekly high. So let me even adjust the weekly high a little bit. And then you look at, okay, if price were to break up here, it would keep going to the next area, right? So remember, price moves from one area of liquidity to another. So at this point, wait for your own confluence. You could even have gotten, so that's why you go and ask yourself, what are our three confluences to enter a trade? Draw your trend line, closure and retest below the 9 EMA, or closure or retest of a high-low period. So at this point, you could have waited for a closure below the 9 EMA on the 5-minute and then entered a sell, closure and retest below. So right now you can see how heavy this candle dipped, right? Now you guys know that I sometimes go to the 5-minute time frame if I don't want to get left, I'm sorry, to the 1-minute time frame if I don't want to get left by a trade. So if price was right here and I know price is volatile and it's likely to dip heavily, I could have easily gone to the 1-minute and then just waited in here for closure below the 9 EMA and then retest and closure below. So right here. So after this candle, let me pause that. I could have entered my sell here, right here, done my 50 pips TP, 50 pips stop loss. And then at that point, gone back to the 5-minute because I don't like seeing the chart movement on the 1-minute. So gone back in here and then traded. So this trade right here would have hit stop loss if you entered based on that, because you had this candle that spiked up. Now, if this one hits stop loss for me, again, I wouldn't have been over risking this. Now, if you're not sure of a move, double the TP and stop loss. So for this one, if you're using the 50 pip TP, 50 pip stop loss, and you entered on the 1-minute, of course, you'd have gotten faked out based off of this candle. Okay, then you observe what price is doing, because what you're looking for, if buyers are really about, so remember, smart money, the hedge funds and banks, they know people who've seen the actual move, so they'll try to fake you out a lot of times. So for me, if I had gotten faked out of this trade, I would have just waited and seen, ideally, if buyers were to take charge here, price would have broken up with heavy volume candles and kept trending up. But however, see what happened. We got that fake out. What did it reject off of? It rejected off of the Monday high. So this is why it's important to have these markups exactly at the Monday high, came back down, came into the supply zone again. Guess what? At this point, I would have re-entered the same trade, but now with a higher risk, because now this is some sort of confirmation. You also have some sort of triple top on the 1-minute or head and shoulders. So just waited for the same thing here. Let me do the replay tool. Give me a quick second. Bro. Wait, give me a second. I had paused the stream. I was doing something else. So for this one, I would have done the same thing, waited for the same exact trade. So no need to FOMO, because I saw it rejected off of the Monday high, came back. So I'm looking for the same trade, and this time I would have gone heavy. So I would have done this. Where is that? So keep replaying. There you go. So you have this candle that's trying to close below the 9 EMA. Perfect. And then I'll just wait for that one. And I'll wait now for this one, for this candle right here to close below the 9 EMA. So at that point, so this one closed above, didn't close below. So let's keep going. Again, you just want to, so now this right here would have been your entry, because this candle closed below, but then the next candle shot all the way back. Let me turn this one off. This candle closed below, the next one closed above. So that's not an entry for a sell. So you want for a candle to close now below, and then now you want this one to close below. But at this point, I wouldn't have taken it because price is so far down. At this point, you're chasing it because the next entry would be closure of this candle, of this 1-minute candle right here. And at that point, since you've already tried to catch 3 or 4 5 minute 1 minute candles, you might as well just go back to the 5 minute. So for me, if I was trading this, I would have just gotten stopped out of there. Price would have faked me out right here for the second entry, and then at this point I would have just gone back to the 5 minute, and by then price had gone so far down, there's no need of chasing that particular trade. But that's how you can, that's the importance of having these markups. So as much as I can record videos and tell you guys, wait for these three confluences, sometimes you just have to look at charts and see if something makes sense. That's it. If you ever look at a chart and something does not make sense, like if I took this sell, I mean, I was doing some things with my EA, but if I was trading this, I would have obviously gotten stopped out of that trade. And instead of chasing this sell right here, I would have just been like, okay, this makes sense. The next time this happens, and that's why I always journal. Now, the next time this were to happen, guess what? If this pattern replays itself, instead of going for a 50 pip TP, 50 pip stop loss for that trade that I could have gotten stopped out, since this is ideally heavy news and you have a lot of manipulation, I would have just gone for 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss, and rode a bigger move. And for that particular one, if you had done that, and that's the, some of these things, as much as I can say it, I can never teach you how to journal. It's all up to you to whether you want to record what happens in a given day. That is all up to you. So here, if I had done 100 pips here, I would have easily won that trade, right? So there you go. I could have just caught that trade. So that's how to, as much as you can have, I can tell you guys, these are the three confluences. Sometimes you have to reason and say, is this a regular trade? Is this news trade? How risky is this trade? And then that's going to tell you whether to do 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss, or whatnot. But anyway, if personally I was taking this trade today, I would have gotten stopped out. And then now the next time, the next news event, and I have this, remember, the market always repeats itself, almost always repeats itself. So we'll always have a similar setup, whether it's the next CPI, whether it's two CPIs from now, we'll have a similar setup. And at that point, guess what I'll do? Instead of doing what I did two CPIs ago, one CPI ago, I'll go for 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss. So yeah, and you can see went all the way back down. Now EU, gold, as much as gold played out, you can see gold, we had a lot of, so gold rejected off of this demand zone. Now, gold is not a trade I would have taken before CPI. The reason is because I tell you guys, I hate trading when we have or like a demand zone within a supply zone, right? So here we have these two demand zones. So price came down, picked up liquidity at the hourly bullish high, 30-minute bullish high, hourly bullish low, I think, or something. So picked up by liquidity and shot all the way back up. Gold is not a trade I would have taken before CPI. US 30 is a trade I would have taken for CPI because it was in a demand zone. There was no supply zone around these demand zones. So gold I wouldn't have taken. EU I would have taken because this is the CPI candle. EU was literally around demand zones. We had a weekly low, previous weekly low. So this was a no-brainer trade to take for EU. Also the sell, this is the sell. Hopefully Livy is in here. Not in here yet. So Livy took a sell on EU because he has access to my charts. He saw EU come up to this supply zone within a supply zone, right? It was around previous daily high, Monday low. Now, the other thing you want to look at, same thing I said yesterday, when you are entering a trade on the 5 minute, also look at the 1 hour. So if we hover the cursor around the previous daily high, it's around 1.1053. Guess what that lines up with? On the hourly, it lines up with the 200 EMA. So remember, I tell you guys, on the high time frame, if price gets to on the hourly or other higher time frame, if price gets to the 200 DMA or even the 9 EMA, remember the 200 DMA is a lag, lags more than the 9 EMA because it's the average price of the last 200 or so days. So if price gets to the 200 DMA on the 1 hour or 1 hour and above, you expect a rejection off of that. So this right here, if you have just coupled the rejection off of the 200 DMA on the hourly on EU, and so we were in supply zones within supply zones, we were at the previous daily high, Monday low. Again, that was a no-brainer sell. So this particular one, if you're applying this 5 minute and also to the hour, you probably don't have time to wait for price to close below the 9 EMA. The reason for that is because by the time price was here around the 200 EMA on the hourly, the 9 EMA was so far below. Now at that point, possibly do the same thing, go to the 1 minute and see if you could have gotten an entry, and you can see you could have easily gotten an entry right here, because this candle right here closed below the 9 EMA. This next one retested and closed below the 9 EMA. At this point, get into your short position here, right here. Depending on what stop loss you're using, regular trade is 200 pips stop loss, 200 pips take profit, and easy, right? Easy take profit right there. So there, I have so many ways for you guys to make money. That's why sometimes, it shouldn't make sense if you're with me for like 2 or 3 months and you're still not seeing any improvements. So just find one strategy that works for you and just stick to that. As much as we have reversals, signals, what others, breakouts, find one. All of them have a high win rate. Find one and stick to that. If you find yourself being confused by all the strategies we have, just find one and stick to that and ignore all the others. So let's see if we can get any trades today. Give me 1 second.
Did you get stopped out from the NZD shift trade?
Let me look. For me, I enter into trades and I rarely look at them. Let's see if we got stopped at. No, I'm still in NZDCHF because if I go back here, we were trading it based off of the reversal, right? So if I put here NZDCHF, we still should be. I think. Wait, give me a sec. I entered another trade. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me see. There's one that I'm in that I re-entered. NZDCHF, the one I entered, we entered this one May 5th. Is it May 5th? Yeah, May 5th at, no, I'm still in it. May 5th. And we entered on the 5 minute. Let me see if I can find it. May 5th. This is Tuesday. Yeah, this is why I don't, some of these assets move too slowly. So May 5th at the price we entered, 0.56142. So this 142. I think it was this one. Yeah. Oh, was it this one? 142. Yeah. So around here, and we had a, what was that, 50 pip stop loss. So I entered at around 142, but it was based off of this sell. Stop loss was what, 50 pips, TP 50 pips stop loss. I can also go back to the Discord because I have the exact markup. Yeah, but I'm still in this trade. Let me go to the hourly. So that's the trade. Yeah, so I'm still in this trade, right? Almost got faked out, but I re-entered on, if I go on the hourly and do here fast moving average, this should be 30. I re-entered on the hourly right here. So I'm in 2 cells for NZDCHF. Yeah, but I'm still in the first trade. So the first trade we took here, which if I go on the Forex minus page, this is the trade that I just marked up, and you can see it's 0.56142. Right, same trade, 0.56142. So the trade came almost to stop loss, but it's back, it's coming back down. Now, I also re-entered this position right here, this sell on the hourly like a few days ago. So I'm in 2 positions for NZDCHF. Yeah, but to answer your question, I'm still in the NZDCHF trade. US 30 is going back up. Okay. Unless, wait, is my trading view frozen? I think my trading view. Oh no, I noticed that, give me 1 second. I noticed that, US 30 live. I noticed like even yesterday, okay. So look at US 30 taking off from this zone. So you can see for US 30, so let me first see the bias for this position. So US 30 currently is bearish. coming off of, but we still have the weekly bullish low that's supporting price. We do have a death cross on the 5 minutes that's forming. Gold right now, gold is, I don't see any trades for gold, but gold is, you can see for gold, we have nothing but sell zones up here. So we are in heavy sells for gold, or sell zones for gold. EU is 50-50, right? EU is just trapped between two areas. So I'll go ahead and start drawing my trend lines for this one. But does anybody have any questions regarding everything I just went over, like news trading and all? And any of the strategies that I mentioned?
Just to confirm, I know you've mentioned previously, I think it was there was a specific time before and after you don't trade during the news. And also just with regards to setting stop loss, obviously because of the slippage and the volatility, is there anything that you do differently when obviously opening a trade around that time period?
Nope. I just stick to, I just trust myself. And then just, I wait for my strategy to show and then I jump in. I used to and I know at some point I was streaming news trading, but I need to see if I'll still be doing that. But I used to, way back I used to, because I'm also in other groups that I started learning from, and the way they were trading news was kind of, you needed a lot of adrenaline. But nowadays I turn off everything. I turn off all my phone alerts. I turn off any group that I'm in, and then I just wait for news. I know my strategy is off it, and then I just, if I see an entry and I trust it, I'll get in. That's it. So if you are trading news, and you are part of other groups, so turn off everything else. So turn off other groups. Like I think there's a group I was in today. They had said to, but I think they said to set a sell stop for US 30. Hopefully they didn't say get into a sell. But what I saw was that if I'm in other groups and I know my strategy, and based on how we backtested it, it works. I was in other groups and then I start getting notifications, oh, sell US 30 now. And then let's say my bias is telling me to buy, but then I either get confused and end up not taking any trade, or I just say, I start seeing their sell, which ideally is kind of messing with my buy. I enter into their sell and price shoots up for a buy. So if you are going to trade news, learn how to trade news, learn the strategy, and then after that, during news events, silence your phones, do not disturb everything, and then it's just you and the charts and everything, and then tell yourself, I'm only going to enter into a trade if I see it and it makes sense. And then that made the whole difference between me and news trading. So nowadays I can trade news so easily without caring. Previously, I used to end up either blowing an account or reaching max drawdown during news. And then after the fact, I see a good move, but I don't have any leverage to take it. Yeah. So if you're going to trade news, just turn off everything, find a new strategy that works for you. When that time comes, turn off everything, and then it's just you, right? Even me, like even if I'm live streaming news, news trading, turn me off, and then it's just you and news. That's what I'm gonna advise you guys. Now, if you're still learning how to trade news, and of course, maybe I do a live session, trading FOMC or whatnot. I will always tell you guys what to risk. I will always tell you guys, at this point, use a 0.01 lot size. Like literally, when I tell you use a 0.01, listen to me. When I tell you use 0.5, especially for news. For the regular trades, you can do whatever you want. News also, you can do whatever you want, but especially for news, if I tell you use a certain lot size or percentage, just stick to that, and you'll see the benefit of that after the fact. So the trend line we only have a trend line to the downside for US 30. So you can see even here, excuse me, this is the hourly. No, this was the 5 minute. This trend line, if you had drawn it on the 5 minute, right, from this high low to this lower low to this lower low, you can see price came back up, rejected from this demand zone, and rejected exactly from this static trend line, and price is going back up for US 30. But these are the only trend lines we have on the 5 minute. On the hourly, let's see if we have any static trend lines. We don't have any static trend lines that are close enough to price on the hourly, so that's fine. Price right now is in, we do have also a daily bullish high. Honestly, I don't see anything good. I want US30 to break away either from this zone. You can see this is the same zone we traded yesterday. We traded off of this weekly bullish low, and price is ideally going back to do. So if we go back to yesterday, this was during the live session or before the live session. Price did the same thing, went all the way up, and then later on during Asia and London came back down, and then it's gone all the way up for CPI. So honestly, I don't see anything for US30. Gold, same thing. We are trapped in between buy and sell zones. We do have a static trend line for gold. See, this is the trend line we were trading yesterday. So we do have this too, right there. So gold is below these two trend lines on the hourly. So this is the trend line we were trading yesterday on the hourly. EU is probably the thing we might get an entry on. Let's see what we have. See possibly this. Yeah, that's the only trend line on the hourly. On the 5 minutes, we have this trend line. And also we do have this one right here. What do we have here? Do we have high time frame order blocks? 4-hour bullish low right here, meaning we have to have a 4-hour bullish high somewhere, which is all the way up here. Yeah, honestly, I don't see anything to trade even for today. Yesterday, I know Desire talked about was that reversal Euro NZD. So we never got any confirmation for the Euro NZD reversal.
Yeah, there was many
Oh wait,
confirmations this morning.
actually wait, yeah, this morning that was so this is the zone that, because I drew this yesterday. I drew the where price would come to complete structure.
Yeah.
I forget the price point. Did I mark that up? I'm not sure, probably not. But I knew it was around this support right here.
Yeah, it's that.
Okay. And then so there's this buy right here. So let me see. Okay, yeah. So this was a buy. It was a valid buy right here on the hourly. And for this one, what did we say? 75? Because it moves different from EU or whatnot, or 100.
75 or 100.
Yeah, 100 is a bit much for pairs, especially a slow moving one like this. Yeah, but 100, I'm sorry, 100 or 70, you might have to hold. You see the way we've been holding NZD CHF, you might have to hold it for like a week or something. Yeah, so even 50, you probably would have still been in. Let's see if what 50 would have been. Yeah, but this when it does retrace, this is a retracement. Yeah, if you did 50, you could have gotten stopped at. Yeah, so 75. Yeah, but for this one, if it does retrace, it's going to be something you can hold for the people who like swing trading. It can be something you can hold even for 100 pips or 200. Yeah, for me here, let me see if this should be 0. Yeah, 39 MA, fast MA like that. Yeah. So that's the trade right there. Yeah, when this thing does reverse, it's going to be something somebody can hold for a week or so. So given that I don't see any trades right now for US30, here you have this death cross that's trying to form for US30, but you can see prices going up. We do have an hourly bearish high, hourly bearish low. Yeah, honestly, I don't like what I'm seeing on US30. So the only thing that I can find right now is EU, possibly a buy off of retest of this trend line. The only thing with the buy right now is you can see we are in sell zones. So we are in supply zones within supply zones. We are in a 30-minute bearish high, bearish low, 15-minute bearish high, bearish low. So we are also in a 4-hour bullish low, which ideally should overlap or override all these lower time frame bearish zones. The only thing is that these supply zones within supply zones, they might be from the daily time frame. I don't remember where I marked them from, because all of the supply zones I marked them as red. So they might be 4-hour, they might be weekly, they might be daily. So I don't know what these supply zones within a supply zone are. But EU is the only buy that I can see, entry for a buy. Let me see where 20 pips would be for this trade. So the trade does make sense for a buy. The only issue is that I would prefer this supply zones not to be there. But let me see if a buy comes up and the regular TP and stop loss is 20 pips TP, 20 pips stop loss. So you want your stop loss to be at least below this 4-hour bullish low. So maybe 30 pips. 30 pips will give you a good enough buffer. Yeah, so at least with a 30 pip TP, 30 pip stop loss, your stop loss would be below the 200 EMA, the 9 EMA, be below the 30-minute bullish high, bullish low, be below the 4-hour bullish low, and at least below this top of the top of this demand zone. So if we get a retest of this trend line, and remember for this one, so the distance between where price is at right now and the trend line is only like 2 pips. So I will, let me open my EU chart and then just adjust. The only issue, it does make sense for a buy. And given I wouldn't have entered, or I would not enter if I didn't see this 4-hour bullish low. So this 4-hour bullish low gives me some confluence. So I'm just setting up my trade manager. I want to risk that, and I will, is that EU? Oh, did it enter? Okay, so I'm in the trade right now for this EU. 30 pips stop loss, 30 pips take profit. If we do break above this supply zones, then the trade, you can see we have hourly bullish zones here. Also, we want to see how far this 200 EMA is. So this 200 EMA is around 1.10339. So when price gets around this hourly bullish low, that's an area where you can decide whether you'll cut price or you'll cut your trade. But again, if you're 50% of the trade in profit, so once you're 15 pips in profit, go ahead and set break even. For this trade, risk 0.5%. So it's a 0.5% risk. That's the one I'm suggesting. Again, do what you want. But yeah, so if we didn't have this, for as much as we do have the 30-minute, 15-minute bearish zones, we have this 4-hour bullish low and 4-hour bullish high. So meaning overall, if I were to box this, and I just don't want a lot of markups on here, if I were to box this, we are in a 4-hour demand zone or 4-hour order block right here. So that's the reason. So to me, this 4-hour order block overrides all these 15-minute bearish order block, or 15-minute and 30-minute bearish order blocks. Also, this supply zones, again, I don't know whether they're on the daily, but hopefully they're below the 4-hour. At that point, the 4-hour order block overrides all this sell zones. And you can see my entry was based off of retest of a trend line, or around the retest of a trend line. You also have the retest of the 9 EMA here. Yeah, but that's the only trade that I can see. Gold is trending to the upside. You can see a clear uptrend on gold. So that's good for our EU buy. We also have this trend line again to the upside for gold. So gold is squeezing, and it should break out one way or the other. US 30, I don't see anything for US 30, to be honest, until either a high low or lower high gets established on US 30. I do not see, unless you want to trade these zones that we trade, right? So when we have hourly and above order blocks, so this hourly bearish high, hourly bearish low, the way we divide trades into 3 right here, unless you want to enter filler sells on US 30. Yeah, so anyway, I'm not interested in US 30 for now until we establish a high low or a lower high. So this is the time you guys can ask any questions that you have.
Yeah, I have a question. So I see that you I've been with you for a while now, since the beginning, and I see that there is a lot of strategies. So
Mhm.
how do you do to manage, like, if you wanna know the statistics of the strategy, like
Mhm.
the win rate, if you
Mhm.
like take all the strategies together or at the same account,
Mhm.
uh, is that not missing out with the win rate of the strategies?
Okay, so let me give you a snapshot. So the snapshot that I'll give you is my EA. So my EA is what combines all my strategies. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Let me try and get this. So my EA is what combines all my strategies. Now, if you want to see the win rate of all the strategies, let me show you. And I know I've showed you guys this before, but I'll just take a screenshot of this. That, and then just go back. And you're right? And that's why I said, like, find one strategy that works for you and then go with it. So right now, if I stop sharing this, yeah. Stop sharing, and then I go ahead and
Your
share this one. Mhm.
EU is almost at 50%.
No. So EU is in drawdown right now. It's not 50% because the EU was for a buy.
Yeah.
What do you mean 50%? Oh, because it spiked up. Oh, my bad. I think my chart is frozen. That's fine. Yeah, see, when I enter trades, I don't care what happens. That's why I tell you guys, trust in your trade and then just let the trade happen. So that's why you can
Yeah.
see me sharing other things. So that's another thing. If a trade makes sense to you, get in and don't care whether, that's why like I couldn't tell whether it's 50% or whatnot. But right now, if you guys can see this screen that I'm sharing, so some people ask me, what's your overall win rate? So if and you're right, I have like a lot of strategies. I have like I don't know, maybe I don't even keep count of them because I just keep developing. Now this is a 250K challenge that I started for E8 trade that's using my EA. Now my EA, again, it's not yet available because it's in, I would say right now it's 99% complete. I just had another change made this morning that's a game changer as well. So I always try to improve even my best. So you can see I started this April 27th. It ends June 26th because this is the E8 extended that gives you 60 days for phase one and 120 days for phase two. So this is not a demo. You can see here the win rate is 85%. So if you were to ask me, what's your win rate for all your strategies? My win rate is over 80%. If you took every single strategy that I gave you and didn't care whether you hit TP or stop loss, your win rate would be over 80%. Now, this particular drawdown, so currently the drawdown so far for the account is about 5,000. Again, I have a max daily loss of 12,500. So this is one of the reasons that I had this change implemented this morning, because this drawdown shouldn't, I mean, the win rate so far I've made 2% in, what is this, a week and a half or whatnot. And you can see the steady growth curve. I haven't seen any EA that has this. And also if you were to give our daily returns, if you were to plot them on our growth curve, they have the similar growth curve because we have ideally our growth curve is just going up. So this just shows you it would be, the EA is based off of all my strategies, how I would trade if I was trading 24 hours. Again, if the trade is, if EU is 50% in profit, go ahead and set break even, or secure half and set break even. So this increase in drawdown right here was there was a little bug in the EA, so this drawdown shouldn't have gone up that high. But again, this is not high drawdown because this is about 2% of a, is it 2%? What's this percentage? I know 5%. They have a max daily loss of 5%. So this is like a, geez, this is like a 3% or 2% drawdown in like a week and a half. So, and I'm trading this account 24 hours, 5 days a week. I'm only trading AU and EU. I'm not even trading US 30 and or any other assets in it. So if you are to ask me all my strategies, on average, I have a 80% win rate. So this should also trickle down to each individual strategy. So whether it's the reversal, whether the reversal definitely has a higher win rate. What's our other strategies? There's the new strategy. There is there's the confluences for entering trades. So that's why I always tell you guys, if the trade, it's always going to come down, does the trade make sense to you? If the trade makes sense to you, take the trade, set your TP, set your stop loss, and then remember that our strategies have at least a 80% win rate. So this does not mean that we will always win every trade that we take. It just means that if we trust our strategies and then enter with a set TP and stop loss, so this trade should be a break. Give me 1 second. And then enter with a set TP of stop loss, we will win at around, I'm not gonna, even 80 is quite high. So let me just say 60. So we'll win at least 60% of all the trades that we take. So that's all you need to know. So long as we don't have a net losing return, don't care about, all the other things that are happening. So this right here should be, your break even should be right there. So this trade should be a break even. So you should have secured either half at 50% of the trade and let the other half run. But if you're still in this trade and you haven't secured anything, just go ahead and set break even and let whatever happens happen. So right, this is again the importance of trusting your own strategy. Now if you ask me the win rate of an individual strategy, I mean, I'm trying to get the win rate of the signals, but I haven't, because I'm focusing on the EA right now, I haven't been focusing on the signals. But the signals also have at about, I think last I checked, they had about 80% win rate. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is the growth curve that I was talking about, right? So for the month of March, we had a 3% win rate. For the month of April, which is the first month that we recorded every day the daily returns, we had a 3.9% return. So we only had, so this Wednesday is when I live streamed CPI. And then we took a loss during CPI and took a loss during the live session. So this wasn't a regular day. I mean, it still counts that we lost, but it wasn't a regular day. The only regular day that we've lost is this Friday for minus 0.5, because this is when we tried to catch that GJ sell, and GJ, ended up going up. So this is the only regular day that we lost. Other than that, like during a regular day, we haven't had any. I mean, we're going to have them, but we haven't had any losing day on a regular day. So the days that have zero right here are days that we had a live session, but did not have any trade. For example, yesterday we had a live session, but there was no trade to take. The days that have an X are the days that we did not have a live session. So you can see so far, other than this day, Wednesday, which is, an exception because it was news trading, this is the only day when we had just a calm regular trading day that we took a loss. Other days we've taken a loss and then taken another trade that took us back to break even for the day. So if you were to draw a growth curve for these returns, it would be similar to what I've showed you guys with the EA. Yeah. So you can see US 30, unless you wanted to get into those filler sells right here, there's nothing. US 30, I just see consolidation. Gold is breaking away from these trend lines. EU is the only trade that we took right here. So for this trade, based on the strategy that I normally go over, 50%. So for me, at 50%, and per the returns I record, the 50% I would secure half and then let half run. So this already, it was what, 0.5% risk. So and let me know if I'm doing this math right. So by the time this trade was at 0.5%, you had a 0.25% gain. If you secured half, you'd have been up about what, 0.1, I think. Yeah, I'll just call it 0.1, even though it should be 0.12. But anyway, so far, based on the strategy for securing half at 50%, today should be up just 0.1. That's if this trade hits break even. Now, if this trade keeps continuing, the result will just be 0.25, so maybe 0.35 if this trade just continues and hits TP. Yeah, but that's the only trade. It made sense. It was an obvious, not so much as an obvious trade, but this 4-hour bullish high, and that's why I always ask you guys, if you're conflicted about a trade, or if you see these demand zones and supply zones, ask yourself, what is around where you are? What is around where price is at? So here we looked at, we had the 30-minute bearish highs, bearish lows, 15-minute bearish high, bearish low, 30-minute bullish high, bullish low. But, right, remember, high time frame zones always overlap lower time frame zones. So here we had this 4-hour bullish high and 4-hour bullish low right here. So that meant that all those lower time frame sell zones or order block zones for sells, they were overridden by this big 4-hour order block. So to me, that just gave me a clear indication that as much as we have those little time frame order blocks, you have a big order block that supersedes all those little order blocks, and that's why just call this trade, and we had a decent return. Yeah, so you guys can keep asking questions here if you have any other questions. If not, this might be another date just to end the live stream early. So remember, we've had days where we get like 3 or so trades. We've had days where we get no trades. So that's the cycle of the market. And actually when the market is approaching summer, you normally have a lot of fake outs, consolidation. So we are approaching that period during the year when volatility starts dying down, and you just have a bunch of fake outs in the market. And that's why I really, really was looking forward, or have been focusing on developing this EA, because it will work on whether it's volatile market. So I just showed you guys today, this is another account I have it running on. So this is a 100K account that's testing. And you can see these are all the trades that hit TP today, right? This is 5.9 and 5.10. So between yesterday and today. So this is I think it's 0.8%. So yesterday I actually ended up 0.1% just for the EA. Today I'm up $800 on a 100K account, so that's 0.8%. And you can see I'm trading all heavy instruments. So you can see like here, I'm trading BTC. So BTC gave me $40. So, and I traded through news. So through news, so this account again, 24/7. So gold gave me, so I'm actually even doing like to see what's gonna give me more money on average. So gold today gave me like $350. I have odd USD, gave me a little bit, $60. What's that? EU 125. So I'm trading all the heavy instruments. Now, if you guys have other EAs, try and go ahead and trade gold, Bitcoin, US30, NAS, AU, GU, and EU on one account and see how that works. If it survives even one day, that's not even consolidating, let me know. But this is why I'm focusing on this. And the drawdown so far, this is a carried over drawdown. So yesterday, the drawdown I showed you guys was what, about 700? Yeah, 500. So today, because of the news and everything, the drawdown today is 1570. So, and I have a equity stop or drawdown stop of 3%. So if this gets to around 3,000, it will just close all the open trades. But to me, this makes sense based on how I've had it working or configured. And with the little tweak that I did today or forwarded to my programmers, it should improve the drawdown. Yeah, but this trade might hit stop loss. I'm sorry, might hit break even. So if it does, that's the only trade that we'll have for the live session today. Because again, you want to see where price is rejecting from, right? So let's take a look at where price just rejected from. Price is rejecting from the previous daily high, is rejecting from this supply zone within a supply zone. Also, we had Monday's low up here. So if you see price rejecting from these zones that we've marked up, it then tells you a story. So a week should always tell you a story. It tells you that you have a bunch of sellers here. So this means at this point, so this trade just got out at break even. So at this point, there's no need to hold on to this trade because the sellers are starting from this supply zone within a supply zone, the previous daily high, Monday's low. So at that point, it tells you we are probably about to start a downtrend on EU. So at that point, you just, that's why it's important to set break even and all of that. So remember also, what do smart money or banks and hedge funds do, right? They fake out people before the actual move starts. So is this candle that took us in profit an example of fake outs, like taking off all the smart sellers that saw a possible move to the downside, stopping them out, and then the smart money people just start tanking price? That's possible as well. So this trade, it would have secured about 0.1% and then would have dropped down and hit break even. So that's the only trade I see us taking for the day. If I use this indicator to see what channel we are in, whether we're in a descending channel. So let's see. So we are still in a bullish channel. So if I hide this, we are still in a uptrend. We are still in a bullish channel. Now, for an actual confirmation of a sell, you want to wait for this high low to be broken. So you want a lower low to be broken and possibly have this death cross forming on the 5-minute. Currently, we are still in a bullish channel right here. So that's just something to note. If you have access to this indicator, I told you that's this little setting right here, show trend. You can use it when trading signals, when trading any of your trades, just to give you additional confluence. So right here, if you're looking for a buy, this is what you'd want to see. You'd want to see these two channels trending to the upside, and you'd want to see price in the region of the green or the buy area. So that's just a nice little tool in this indicator that I have. So I normally don't use it because another way to know what trend you're in, just draw a trend line, right? You don't even, that's why I say you don't need access to anything like the indicators for subscription to make money, because you can easily draw, you can see we're in an uptrend because we have a lower low and a high low. Just draw a trend up there. Even without that indicator as well, you can easily draw. So this is, let me give you guys another example, right? Let me open a new chart. And this is what I do as well, because I tell you guys, draw your indicators on the, draw your trend lines on your MT4 and do not delete them, because price will almost always reject from them. So for me, on my MT4, since I don't have this indicator on my MT4, I can easily draw trend lines, right? I can see trends, so I can see that trend right there. Let me see. I can draw a trend line here. So this is what I do every day on my MT4, right? I'm not using any indicator. I can automatically see trend lines here. Automatically see and draw trend line. So let's just attempt to draw a couple and see if they're gonna. So this is what I'll do. Let's go back in time, a little bit in time, and okay, let me draw trend lines from here and see if they're going to stick in future. Right, so some of these things I can automatically see them right there. Right there. Let's see. Okay, so look at this trend line that I just drew. I drew it from where? Here, right? I wasn't even looking at where price was right now. Look at this trend line. Price came here, rejected from this trend line, rejected from this trend line here, right? So in future, this is why I say draw and do not delete, right? So let's see, even right here, I see this trend line. And this was one of the strategies, or actually I'll call it a strategy. This was one of the strategies that I showed you guys the very first time I started live streaming. So we just drew this one right here. So that one's going up. Okay, so let's draw another one. I want to, again, I don't want to be seen as trying to make up trades. That's why I'm hiding the right side. So I want to see if any of these trend lines are going to hold in future. All right, so there's that one. Let's see. There's this one to the upside, but I know price didn't. I'm not sure price went all the way up there. Okay, perfect. Let's try this one. Okay, so look at this one, right? I just drew without even, this price was hidden, right? So I did, I didn't make that trend line up to to show you guys that price was going to reject in future. So I just drew that trend line right now with this to the right side hidden, and you can see right here, price came back up, rejected from this trend line and went up, right? So this is why I say draw your trend lines on your MT4 and do not delete them. So it's obvious. If you zoom out, the easiest way, just zoom out of your chart and you'll automatically see trend lines. Like I just drew this without any indicator, just by looking at the chart and identifying a trend, and that will also be a game changer. So I know Levy, I don't know if he still does it. He trades off of these trend lines based on how I say draw them off of your MT4. And I normally tell you guys, like, personally, if TradingView were to collapse and if my EA were to collapse, I would still make money because I know how to draw trend lines, and I would just be waiting for rejection off of trend lines. So EU hit break even. So that's the only trade for today. So gold, this is what you want to see. So gold broke out away from these trend lines. So what do you want to see right here? So that could have actually been a sell on gold, because this candle broke below the trend line. This next candle retested the 9 EMA and broke below the trend line. So when you draw a trend line, you want to wait for price to break above or below the trend line and then retest and close above or below whatever trend line you're looking at. So for gold here, we drew these trend lines from this, and these were perfect trend lines, from this higher high to this lower high, from this lower low to this high low. And I did say gold was squeezing right here. So for here, if you're trading this, all you need to do is wait for price to break above or below any of these two trend lines. So when price kept going, this candle did not. So this candle tried to break below, but just closed back above the trend line. This next candle broke and closed below the trend line. So for any sell, you'd have been looking for this candle to also close below the trend line. And you can see this candle close below the trend line, and you could have entered the sell on gold for here for this trade. Also, right, you ask yourself, what's around where price is at, right? I've already got my first confluence break above or below the trend line. And of course, I'm not going to count this, but you've already gotten that entry, right? So you ask yourself, what else is around me? I have nothing but sell zones. I have supply zones within a supply zone. We have the weekly. So this weekly high should actually be all the way up here, because this was during FOMC. I'm sorry, during CPI. So you have supply zones within supply zones. You have 15-minute bearish highs, 30-minute bearish high, 30-minute bearish low. So you have nothing but sell zones in here. So this was, we missed it on the live session. But again, I'm hoping you guys understood what I just went over, because this ideally is teaching, is educating you guys. So I'm not really concerned about all these trades. Personally, I have other accounts that are automated with my EA and other strategies. So we're not always going to find trades on the live session, but this would have been a sell you could have taken, and it would have made sense because price closed below this trend line. You would have waited for the next candle to either retest and close below, or to just close below the trend line, and then you got it with this candle. You just entered that trade, 50 pips stop loss, 50 pips TP. This would have been a no drawdown trade, and it's a trade that would have easily made sense. So there's so many ways to make money. So I'm hoping you guys are learning. You can see even personally I'm missing out on money just by being on the live session. But my aim here is for you guys just to pick up on things and learn. Any other questions? All right, let me see in the chat. Okay, yeah. If not, so today we should be up 0.1%, or for anybody who secured more than 0.1% around this area, you should be up heavily for the day. And that should be it. Now let's see if we have any, because we have this breakout indicator. Desire, do you see any breakouts? I know you're one of the people who are good at identifying it. I have so many. My mind is in so many different places at this point that I don't have time to even look at the breakout. Did you see any breakout for any? And you can see we have a breakout sell on gold right now, and I know we just got a signal for gold sell.
No, I didn't check the breakout today because I'm already in 2 trades. So the NGG shift and the Euro NGG. So I didn't look for another trade. So I'm just waiting for these ones.
Okay, yeah. So you can see the breakout scanner has a sell for gold, and we just identified gold. That was definitely a sell. So yeah, as like I have access to all of this, but I already made money today with my EA. I've already made money. Well, I didn't take any trade during CPI. But right now, right, I have no need of. I already have my trades, so I have no need of going to the breakout scanner. So this is what I'm saying. Like, we have like 6 or 7 different strategies. Just find one. You can literally be making money off of the breakout. You could just have access to this indicator, and then you're saying, today I'm only going to be, or I'm always going to be trading. Again, the breakout is also based off of my logic. So same thing. If you know that we have about a 80% win rate, you can be like, I don't care. I'm not going to be trading with the live session with Michael. I'm just going to be using the breakout scanner. Just wait for one of these instruments to break out, and then I find a trade in that direction or catch a reversal. There's so many different ways. And hopefully it will be of value to you guys. If not, then well and good. But I've poured a lot of resources, time, and everything else into this instruments we have. So I'm just hoping that at the very least one person can get funded and consistently maintain their accounts with this. But other than that, unless anybody else has any other question, I will see you guys tomorrow for another trading week. So yeah, so the next few months we might have slow returns because we are headed to the summer, and summer the markets are ideally slower. They move slower. So normally you want to maximize January through April or May-ish. Let me remember. So last year during May was I remember, because I know a reason I remember that. So last year during May is an ideally consolidating month. So you want to maximize your returns January through April, because what happens during the summer, you have all these hedge fund managers and owners and whatnot just going for their annual vacations, right? The people when they have houses over, I don't know, outside the country or in the Caymans or whatnot. So ideally, the markets are ideally lacking liquidity. Now, the markets start gaining liquidity again around August or whatnot. So once summer is over, so beginning August and September, we normally have a improvement in liquidity. So during this next few months, we are probably not going to be getting a lot of returns. And at that point, I'll probably just be focusing on the EA at that point. But yeah, unless anybody else has any other questions, I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, bye guys.
Thanks, bye.